In this video, we're going to look at how to start a new project. And there are a couple different ways we can do that. Number one, we can start a new project. And to do that, we simply select the New Project tab up at the top, which we will go ahead and do. And when we do that, it will start a new project and insert a blank slide. And one of the first things that you want to do, if not the first thing you want to do here, is you want to go ahead and set your slide size. It's very important. It's very easy to do, and to do so, we're just going to select the Design tab at the top, and then we're going to select the Story Size Setup tab on the left. Here we're going to, from a drop-down menu, we can select a preset ratio. We can do a 4:3 ratio or a 16:9, or more than likely, we're going to select the Custom option. And when we select that, we can set the pixel width and the pixel height for the slide size. And once you've entered the desired pixel dimensions, just go down and click the OK tab. From this point, you would just go ahead, double click on the slide, and start adding your images and your content and so on. But let's say you have spent a lot of time developing the content and developing your course in PowerPoint. If that's the case, it's really very easy to import your PowerPoint templates into Storyline 360. Let's go ahead and jump back to the home screen. And to do that, we're going to go up and select the Import tab. And then we're going to select the Import PowerPoint. Okay? Next, you would just locate the PowerPoint presentation on your local machine. Select the presentation, and then select the Open tab. Now, depending on the size of the project, whenever you start to import these slides in the Storyline, Storyline is going to read those PowerPoint slides, and it's basically going to determine if there are images in there, if there are objects, if there are actions, and so on. So it's going to actually read all of the information on the PowerPoint slide, and once those PowerPoint slides have been imported into Storyline, all of your objects and your images and your actions that you added to the objects in PowerPoint will carry over into Storyline. So let's do this. While that's importing, let's take a look at the PowerPoint presentation that it's currently importing, just so we can get a better idea of what we're going to be looking at here in just a moment. So let's go ahead and open up that PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so the gist of this presentation or course is we have Alex the alien, and he's teaching the learner how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So he's basically saying here are the items that you need to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and you need to select each of these items to see how each of these items fit into the bigger picture. So what we've done here is we've taken each of these objects or images on the right hand side, and we've assigned an action to each one of these images. So when the user or the learner selects the image, it's going to take them to a specific page that tells them how this particular item fits into the larger equation of making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. To kind of demonstrate this, let's go to slideshow mode and we'll see how this works. Okay, so when the learner selects an item, it's going to take them to the corresponding page, again, that tells them how, in this case, specifically the peanut butter is going to fit into the larger equation of making a peanut butter jelly sandwich. So after the learner sees this, they can select the back button, and it takes them back to the main page where, again, they can just repeat the process until they've gone through all of the items, and they've basically learned how to make the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Now again, if you spent a lot of time working on this presentation in PowerPoint, you're not going to want to redo that work once you get into Storyline. Again, the beautiful thing about Storyline is when you import these PowerPoint slides, it's going to import all of the images, all of the objects, any background images. It's also going to import any actions that you assign to any object. So let's go back over into Storyline and take a look at what I'm talking about. Okay, so now we're back in Storyline, and you can see here that we have all of the slides that we just looked at in our PowerPoint presentation. And the interesting thing here is that we can actually select, if we don't want to import all of the slides, we can basically just deselect the ones that we don't want to import into Storyline. Or if we want to import them all, we just select them all. And then once selected, we'll go ahead and just select the Import tab down at the bottom. And this is going to take a few minutes, again, just because it has to read all of the information on all of the slides that you're importing into Storyline. Okay, so we'll give this just a minute, and then we'll take a look at the results. Okay, so now that it's imported, it takes us automatically into Story View. And as we can see here, the branching that we created in our PowerPoint presentation, it actually carries over into Storyline. So let's select this top slide up here, our main slide, and when we do that, notice that we already have the triggers created in Storyline. So again, when Storyline reads the initial presentation when it's being imported, it will recognize an action, and when it's imported, it takes that action and turns it into a trigger, as what it's called in Storyline. So we can see here that all of our triggers for all of the items and objects on our initial slide was imported along with the PowerPoint presentation. So that's very, very cool. So moral of the story here is, if you spend a lot of time and energy creating a presentation in PowerPoint, once you import it into Storyline, all of the actions and stuff that you've done to that presentation should be intact once it's imported. To kind of demonstrate that, we can go up here to our preview button, and we're going to preview this entire scene, and we'll just kind of see if everything works like it should. Okay, so here is our original slide, and then let's just kind of select an item and see if it takes us to the right place. Yep, so the triggers were read correctly. And again, once you import it, you don't want to just take it blind faith that everything's going to work properly. You want to go and check all of your triggers and everything just to make sure it's going to be working okay. And sometimes if there's not a font in Storyline that you used in the original PowerPoint presentation, you might have to select a different font and change some stuff that way. One of the other things that I've noticed is sometimes on speech bubbles, it will make the speech bubble where it comes down to the character's mouth. It makes it look kind of weird and wonky, and there's not a lot you can do, unfortunately, to fix it. Or we can kind of see here, we can move the speech bubble, but the but the line on the bottom, it doesn't free transform like it did in PowerPoint. So some things might be a little bit weird once you import it in there, but 95% or 98% or whatever of the original content that you created will import into Storyline. So again, very, very cool feature. So those are the basic two ways that you're going to start any new project.